Welcome back, my gardening friends, to an allotment tour of plot 3. This is where we've got the fruit cage and where I grow my vegetables. So I'll have a look in the fruit cage first. The sun is very strong, but the blueberries, these are the new ones. They're doing extremely well. And onto the blackcurrant. Considering they were completely devastated by green fly, they're looking really lush now and fresh. So I'm hoping that these fruits will stay on and we'll get a good crop. Remember the black currants that fell off the bush, landed on the floor and self-set? I've thinned them out a little bit. I need to really water this ground really well, and then I'm going to transplant them. Now, over the winter months, I took down this netting. Well, not this netting, but some old netting. That's now been replaced, so this is now bird free. And I also took down the centre supports. They'd gone rotten, and these supports I thought wasn't really helping. But unfortunately, as you can see, everything is flopped over and is hanging down quite unnaturally. If it helps, I'll leave it, but that may be another project for this winter. And the red gooseberries are doing well. Excellent harvest from the summer fruiting raspberries, and there's all the new growth now coming up from the bottom. You can tell the difference. The lighter canes are this year's wood, so the darker canes will be removed. This very small gooseberry bush that I planted last year is again throwing out new shoots, and the goblet shape of the gooseberry bush may work, but it seems to be really thick and overhanging. I don't know what's gone wrong with everything this year. Let's blame the weather. And there's the other black currant bush. So like I said, this netting's now on. It was 10 metres long by 6 metres wide. Very difficult to put on because of how it's shaped. But me and Mrs. King managed to do it without falling out too much. Of course, she was always right. And that was purchased from the kindness of your hearts by watching my videos from start to finish. So thank you very much, guys. That's something else that I've been able to purchase from your kind viewings. I'm having to film this in an opposite direction because of the sunshine, and so these are the boletos, nearly all the way to the top, and the French beans cobra there. We've got flowers on those already, and these are the turnips and swedes and a few beetroot. Peas, they're filling out nicely now, but the Market Moor outdoor cucumbers, they're not happy. I think a lot of people are having trouble with the outdoor cucumbers. I did see one on somewhere. Oh, there we go. It's a harvest. The dwarf kale has just started to get the white fly on it, but the peacock white kale doesn't seem to be affected. These beans are the long beans for Malvern. Some I've took the middle out so the side shoots come out. That's what's been recommended, so I've given that a try. Nothing showing where the spring onions are, and these are the seeds from the red onion that we saved. And these are the radishes, and I think some of these now are definitely ready to harvest. I'll get some of those before we go home. And a few carrots. I think these are out in the sunshine too much, they need to be in a shaded area. These are the beans, pom goat, and they're from Bill and Val. There's flowers on those as well, and I think I built this structure incorrectly, so I didn't know they were dwarf, and I think Southpaw Davy made the same mistake. But yeah, I'm looking forward to giving those a try. Swedes and beetroot, even though we're still getting damage from the beet leaf miner. Check that video out if you haven't heard of the beet leaf miner. You will be absolutely amazed as to what happens to that. And here's Bill and Val's peas. That's head height. And nearly beating the sunflowers. Have we got a challenge for the tallest peas? So thank you to Bill and Val for those seeds. Really appreciate everything that you sent me. It's all growing really well. So we're always checking as soon as we come down on the allotment to see what's going on, and one of the jobs at the moment is using the flit sprayer. It's a double-headed one. You've probably seen it on Muddy Boots. Nigel, he uses it as well, and I use it on the flowers. Now I've started using it straight away this time, religiously, and all the flowers have set. I haven't had any fall off at the moment. There's the first flower, and there's the bean. So that's really well worth doing, and it gives out a really fine spray. This is the celery, and this is put in the shady spot. It ain't very shady at the moment behind the beans, but does in the shade most of the day. So we'll see how the celery does here compared to on the compost manure bin on plot 1. So this is where the broad beans were originally, and I've just knocked up a little bit of timber. This is from the truck diving. Remember that truck that I helped myself to all that timber on the back? With permission, of course. And there's some of the broad beans that are growing again after they were cut off. And at the moment the trench at that point is being filled with 2 parts compost, my homemade compost mix, and 1 of leaf mould, and then topped up with the spent compost that I'll get off the side of the road that the that the cannabis growers dump. So just wanted to show you that before I filled the rest in. The broad beans there, wait till they die off, but they won't mind being buried, and neither will the sunflower from Bill and Val, the Harlequins. These are the celery that I planted within a trench, and now the broad beans are gone. Those plants at the end there have straightened themselves up, not drawing to the light, and they do look really quite lush. No special compost for those, they just went straight in the ground where the Swedes have been, and this spot is where the Swedes were going to seed. And I've planted some more lettuce, and I've just done a double boundary of coffee grounds and blended eggshells, the same as the celery bed. I've sowed all my peas all at once this year. I try and do successional sowing, but they never seem to do as well. And excuse me. The first peas of the year. Don't tell Mrs. King. Oh my goodness. Absolutely beautiful. So the onions in here, some have gone to seed, some haven't. I don't know what's gone to seed, what hasn't. But it can stay in the ground there, not a worry. This is where the garlic was, again utilising the space, and again coffee grounds and blended eggshells to give them a little bit of protection. This is where I should have used my big labels, because the little labels can't even see what's on them, and I've left some to go to seed on both sides. Giant carrots doing really well. Whoops, not so well. Don't know what's happened to it. This is another one that's gone AWOL, and not sure whether you can see, but this is what we want. We want all the growing stems to come out the top. That's got to come out now, because it's not going to do anything. There's the giant Swede. The beetroots, well, I just can't seem to get on top of the beet leaf miner. This is where the other carrot was, so utilised it again, but I've only put blended eggshells there this time because the slugs have got a hell of a way to climb up. That carrot is looking exceptionally well, but this, I took the leaves off it just the other day. I just don't know what to do. If I take the leaves off, it won't grow. If I leave them on, we'll end up with more flies. Parsnips, they're all looking really well now, and shooting up just nice. These are the carrots that I transplanted. They looked very poor at the start, but they're looking nice now. And there's some of the giant marrows. Volunteer potato, and the trailing tomatoes with what looks like a harlequin inside it. Not going to lift the carrot box up, we'll just have a little look inside. Doing fine. I'll just turn around. So I'm going to just dry this for a little bit longer. Thank you very, very much for everyone who commented on the garlic. There's a massive comments list now with input from everyone, and anyone new to garlic growing, especially elephant garlic, will that'll be so beneficial to them. So thank you very much. This is one of the Kelsey onions. I'm sure I've got a top there, scape there. We're into the Jerusalem artichokes. They're doing well in the small containers. I do them in small containers so I can just fetch one bucket out at a time. We'll see how it works. Another tomato trailing. It has got a celery plant in there, but like I've said before, I tend to scatter all my tomatoes all over the place. If one gets blight, then the spores have got to travel a good distance to the next. These are my sarpomeras I grew from the seed pods. half have got my own compost mix, and the other half have got the potato fertilizer in. So again, there'll be another reveal on a main crop. I just don't want to pull all the leaves off. Never mind. So here we have the red cabbage in the flower bucket, planted at exactly the same time. It's turning into a giant. Even if it doesn't make Malvern, these now are hearting up nicely. And I shouldn't really touch them. You just touch them and it marks them. Lots of broccoli off the Calabrese, and these are my other giants. That is just one cabbage. And if they heart up, then I'll be a happy bunny. That's one leaf, guys. That gives you a bit of perspective. And today we did harvest one of the pointed cabbages for our Sunday lunch. Today is June the 30th. This is my seed saving area. These are the radishes, and these pods are forming now. Never saved radish seed before. And this is the beetroot. This is the giant that I took to Malvern last year, and again it's still having the same problems. And these are the leeks. These are the seed heads off the leeks. Saving a few of those as well. This is the pak choy. And the seed pods are very similar, so no doubt you're going to tell me they're from the same family. Chuffed to bits. First time I've really been able to grow spring onions in clumps like that. So we got into the chard. The cover's off this now, and I've taken out some of the lettuce and replanted with some new from home, and interplanted all those, so when I pull those out there'll be some more plants in between. Managing to keep the beet leaf miner under control within the chard, because you can take the whole leaf off and then new leaves grow in the middle. And I've got the swede seeds hanging up to dry now, and I've just got to keep an eye on them so they don't pop open and I lose all the seed. As you can see, it's a nice tidy shed. We have so many break-ins, it just isn't worth making it easy for them to find anything. I never leave anything here of any value anyway, but they take one look at this and think, no, I ain't bothering. So we're now into the Polytunnel, and the Diablo peppers, they're coming on nicely. Start picking those anytime. Phil's bloody butchers are growing nicely, and some of the giants. This is the long cucumber, just needs tying up. My final giant onion. Maybe all right for a local show. And as you can see, the poor old carrots are flopping. May not be the best place in here. It's like a jungle. Just moving into the sunshine there. But basically, everything's doing well, apart from the carrots that don't really like the heat in here. And realistically, neither do I. The long rooted vegetables for Malvern, well, I'll tell you something, guys, you need to be retired to do these. I've let them go now and we'll keep growing them, see what happens, but it may not be for me while I'm still at work. And the liquid plant food, that's in here, a few glugs to each can as and when I need it. and a quick show of the grapes. It's trying to focus on something else, but they're doing quite well. Just turn you around. It's the only trouble with this tablet, it doesn't like the light sometimes, but I think you've got a bit of an idea there of everything that we've got growing, and it'll be time to thin some more out, especially that one that's in the middle of the screen now that's not doing so well. And the heavy cucumber that I thought I'd lost has perked up, so well done to that one. I know we said we cut a lot back, but all this new growth now is sprouting up absolutely everywhere, and hopefully that's new green growth will help sweeten up these bunches of grapes. And there's my carrot in a bottle. I've also purchased some Enviro mesh netting, the sort that keeps all those nasty bugs away, and that's also been purchased from your kind viewing of my channel from start to finish, so thank you very much. So that's the end of this plot 3 tour, and what I get up to, the things I do, and we also keep an eye on the manure bin runoff down the corner. We nearly forgot to show you that. Let's have a look. So this container's got manure in, and there's the liquid, and we just decanter it into the containers, and this mesh helps the worms get out if they wish. Some of them they just crawl through and drown. Silly billies. So again, thank you very much, my gardening friends, for your kind words, your continued support, the lovely comments. And if you enjoy my types of videos, there's no editing, it's start to finish, pause and record, no fancy anything else, but just good old allotmenteering. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now. And consider subscribing if you feel you wouldn't like to miss any more future updates. And I always forget, just click that bell to make sure you get every notification. Ta-ra for now.